Love is one of life's greatest mysteries. It defies logic, it escapes reason, and it often leaves us speechless. Sometimes it's the sweetest feeling in the world, full of joy, warmth, and connection. But other times, it can be cruel, confusing, and painful. Anyone who has truly loved knows this duality well. Love can lift you to the highest emotional peaks, but it can just as easily plunge you into the deepest valleys. One moment, everything feels secure. You're deeply connected to someone. You feel their presence in your life like a constant light. And then suddenly, they pull away. No argument, no explanation, no clear signs, just silence, distance, a growing void. Most people would take this as a sign. They'd say, they've lost interest. They'd assume that the love is gone. But what if that's not the case? What if the silence isn't the death of love, but rather a strange and silent proof of how powerful it truly is? This might sound strange, but human emotions are rarely straightforward. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds to ever explore the human psyche, left behind powerful teachings to help us understand these emotional paradoxes. And today, we're going to explore one of those paradoxes, the hidden side of love, the side that doesn't show itself in smiles and sweet words, but in withdrawal, confusion, and fear. What if someone pulls away not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much? What if love becomes so overwhelming that the only way they know how to deal with it is to escape it? Get ready to dive deep into the emotional world beneath the surface. A world where love, fear, pain, and passion are all tangled together in the shadows of the unconscious mind. This perspective might completely change the way you see love. It might help you understand behaviors that once felt like rejection weren't rejection at all. This is where we explore the truth behind human emotions, psychology, and spiritual growth. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's begin. Love is not just a feeling. It's not just butterflies in the stomach or the exchange of kind words. Real love, deep love, is a mirror. It reflects not only your joy and dreams, but also your wounds, your insecurities, your fears. And this mirror, it doesn't lie. Carl Jung taught us that the human mind is divided into two powerful worlds. The conscious, what we know, what we can name, what we understand. And the unconscious, a vast, shadowy space filled with hidden desires, old traumas, unspoken fears, and buried emotions. And here's the truth. Most of us think we know what we want in love, but it's often the unconscious that really runs the show. The moment we fall deeply in love, something unexpected happens. We stop seeing the other person as just a partner. They become a mirror reflecting back parts of ourselves. The parts we like and the parts we try to hide, even from ourselves. And not everyone is ready to face that kind of mirror. Some people start to see old insecurities rising to the surface. They confront emotions they thought they had buried. And instead of moving forward, they panic, they pull away. Not because the love isn't real, but because it's too real, too intense, too revealing. And that's when the mind, without even asking for permission, triggers a defense mechanism: emotional detachment. They may start ignoring the one they love, not because they want to hurt them, not because they've stopped caring, but because their unconscious is trying to protect them. When someone you love starts ignoring you, your mind immediately jumps to one terrifying conclusion: I must have done something wrong. But more often than not, it has nothing to do with you. It's not about something you said or didn't say. It's about what they're battling within themselves. Understanding this kind of emotional detachment requires a deeper look, not at the surface of the relationship, but at the darkest corners of the human psyche. Because sometimes pulling away is not a sign of disinterest. It's a sign of a storm happening inside someone's soul. So don't take it personally. Don't rush to blame yourself. And most importantly, don't chase. Trying to hold on too tightly to someone who is running from their own fear only creates more resistance. Real love is not about control. It's about space, respect. It's about allowing the other person to face their fears without adding pressure or guilt. Now, here's something even more complex. Distance can sometimes be a silent test, an unconscious way to ask, will this love survive even when I'm not constantly here to confirm it? It may feel unfair. It may even hurt deeply. But for some, distancing is a way to feel safe. They fear being trapped in an emotion they don't know how to manage. They step back, not to end the connection, but to breathe. But let's be clear, those who use distance as a test are often not yet ready for true love, because real love doesn't require tests. It doesn't play games. It is built on trust, on presence, on mutual growth. Yes, those who run may come back, but the question is, will they return with deeper awareness? Or will they keep running every time it gets real? Only their actions will answer that. And you deserve someone who chooses you with clarity, not confusion. Because love, real love, is not measured by constant presence. It's measured by the courage to return, even after fear, by the strength to face emotions rather than avoid them. Some people need time. Some need space to process their feelings. And yes, some may get lost along the way. But if the love is real, if it's meant to last, then distance won't be the end. It will simply be a chapter in the journey toward emotional maturity. But what if they don't come back? What happens then? Before we answer that, if this message has touched something inside you, if it's brought you clarity or comfort, please consider sharing it. There's someone out there who may need to hear this too. And if you'd like to support our work, you can leave a donation by clicking the thank you button below the video. We are truly grateful. Now, let's continue. If they don't return, then know this: that distance wasn't a loss. It was a lesson. Because love isn't about fighting to keep someone who doesn't want to stay. It's about the freedom to let them choose. We often think love should be conquered, held on to, saved at all costs. But the truth is, the value of love isn't measured by how long it lasts, but by what it teaches us while it's here. Sometimes, people come into our lives not to stay, but to show us something we couldn't see on our own. And their absence, it can teach us more than their presence ever could. It pushes us inward. It forces us to ask what truly hurts, their departure, or the emptiness it leaves behind. Because maybe, just maybe, they touch something in you, a wound, a longing, a hidden truth you had buried deep. And now that it's surfaced, it's asking to be healed. This is why love, even when it fades, can still be a gift. It can awaken parts of us we would never have discovered alone. Real love isn't just about being with someone. It's about becoming someone new through what we feel. And here's something many people miss. Even the one who pulls away doesn't always understand why. They may not know they're acting from fear. They may not realize that old patterns, old wounds, are guiding their actions. Carl Jung spoke of this. of projections. When someone runs, they may not be running from you. They may be running from the reflection they see in you, a version of themselves they're not ready to face. So don't chase, don't beg, don't demand closure. Sometimes, the more you seek answers, the more they pull away. The real question isn't why they left. It's, if they return, will it be with a new heart, a new awareness? Because only then, only from that new place, can love truly grow. Not everyone will reach this place, but those who do, come back with a love that is stronger, more honest, and deeply rooted. Love is powerful. It can heal, but it can also terrify. People don't always leave because they don't love you. Sometimes they leave because they love you so deeply, it shakes the very foundation of who they are. So if someone has walked away, don't search for the answers in them. Look within. What has this experience awakened in you? Because as Jung taught us, the most important love we'll ever find is the one that leads us to truly know ourselves. And here is the final truth. If love is real, if it's meant to be, it will find its way back. And now, let me ask you, have you ever experienced a love that slipped away just when it felt most real? Share your story in the comments. Let someone else feel less alone. Remember this: authentic love isn't a chain, it's a path, a journey. Sometimes it brings people together, sometimes it lets them go. But even in silence, even in distance, real love still speaks. And those who run, they're not always running from you. They may be running from what your love awakens deep inside of them. If it's true, they'll return.